welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. Reminder of our major stories. 258 Nigerians arrive in the country from war-torn Libya. NAPTIP hands over 21 returnees from Libya to Edo State government. Former Minister of the FCT, Bala Mohammed, gets bail in the sum of 500 million naira and 2 sureties in like sum. Chief Justice of Nigeria criticizes politicians for interference in judicial process as Supreme Court affirms election of Okezie Ikpeazu as Governor of Abia State. And soldiers in Ivory Coast revolt at various military bases in protest over a paid dispute. Now, just to remind you that all our top stories and others, please visit our website, channelstv.com and youtube.com/channelsweb. You can also watch us on the go on any mobile device. Log on to m.channelstv.com or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows devices from their respective stores. Having the Channels TV and Channels 24 app will give you access to news and updates. You also have the Eyewitness feature, so you too can be part of the news. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu and follow the instructions to share those pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Now we have some pictures for you and let's share them with you. We can begin with this one from Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, showing what's left of a building which our Eyewitness reporter says belongs to a school. He wants this renovated to aid learning and prevent accidents. Also from Ibadan, Oyo State, comes this image showing the scene of an accident. Our Eyewitness reporter says the fatal accident was caused by a collision between a police vehicle and a motorcycle. Next is this one from Ring Road in Kano State. The image shows a fallen trailer, but our Eyewitness reporter thanks men of the Federal Road Safety Corps for clearing the scene and avoiding traffic. Finally, from Ijebu-Ode in Ogun State comes our next image showing a motorcycle with 8 people. Our Eyewitness reporter wants the practice checked to prevent a mishap. That's quite a crowd there. Thanks a lot for sending in your pictures and being part of the news. Now, in spite of financial constraints, the federal government says it's upscaling commitment to the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority to the tune of $500 million. Now, this was made known by the acting president, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, while inaugurating the second board of the NSIA following the endorsement of nominees by President Muhammadu Buhari. The investment agency was established to manage all funds set aside for investments in strategic sectors of the economy.
In February 2017, the National Economic Council approved the nomination of 6 Nigerians for the appointment into the board of the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority, NSIA.
Experience, which I believe
each nominee represents each of the 6 geopolitical zones in the country. The acting president says the NSIA is critical to the infrastructure development plan of the federal government.
Since inception, the NSIA has maintained a track record of consistent positive performance and displayed an impressive capacity for growth. There are several key projects that would unlock the economic potential of our country and get us faster out of where we are today.
It equally maintains that in spite of financial constraints, the government has been able to pump in an additional 50% commitment to the fund.
With this additional capital is investment. Thus, as the NSIA moves into the second phase of its existence, the expectation is that the committed capital will be deployed into projects that are in line with the administration's key priority areas, namely infrastructure, agriculture, in order to improve our economy.
The Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, explains that the inauguration will fast-track planned reinvigoration of existing infrastructure in the country.
Every single zone of the country has a representative here, and we look for the best. And we have a balance between male and female. They're seasoned professionals. We have bankers, we have lawyers, we have people with oil and gas experience, we have entrepreneurs, and we're very confident that this board will look after our future resources and and provide very good investment decisions and guidance to the executive management.
The board is confident that it will establish new benchmarks to boost ailing sectors of the economy.
You're going to see us more in agriculture. I mean, you've seen us run the fertilizer program for the country. We've run the fertilizer blending program this year. I was announced to you last time that as at last week we have released more than 3 million bags through our program. It's the first time the country will run fertilizer without subsidy, and it's been sold at 30% below market to the farmers in a free market environment. This is the program the NSIA has been able to accomplish in the last 3 months.
The board of the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority is expected to serve a 4-year term. Gloria Umezuke, Channels Television News.
Well, the acting president has also restated the president's desire to see Nigerians grow what they eat and make what they use. Professor Oshibajo was speaking in Katsina State at the launch of the pilot edition of the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Clinic for Viable Enterprises operating in the state. The acting president pledged the federal government's readiness to ease the operation of small-scale businesses across the country and praised the entrepreneurs for better packaging and marketing of their products. All right, I can see Ibrahim Adra there. Hey, Ibrahim.
Hello, Ijoma. Many thanks. Following the murder of a 17-year-old indigene of Biogbolo community in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State, angry youth have vented their frustration on Igbo traders in the area. The action led to the destruction of the traders' shops by the indigents, who claim their anger stems from the fact that the suspect, identified as Tochukwu from the southeast, is yet to be apprehended. Meanwhile, the Bayelsa State Police Command has called for calm, assuring residents that the suspect will soon be arrested.
It was only a matter of time. The resentment and frustration of the Biogbolo community in Yenagoa, the Bayelsa State capital, over the yet-to-be-solved case of the murder of a 17-year-old female has finally erupted. The Igbo traders in the area are now on the receiving end. Their shops destroyed by Irish youth who came at them from all angles. The traders tell their tales of woes.
Getting to my shop, I discovered that my shop has been set ablaze, and the chairs, the goods I have in the shop, more than 8 sets of chairs. Most of them, they were damp. In short, more than 3/4 of it was burnt with fire.
I'm inside. Before I look, I just see the boys to rush, carrying my chair, start to knock for ground, scatter everywhere. Even my signboard, they break everywhere.
Worse than having shops destroyed is being attacked with deadly weapons. These men escaped by whiskers, but not without injury to remember the day.
The person pushing me, carry matches and hit me.
Expressing his displeasure over the development, the Commissioner of Police is insisting that the force is putting in all efforts to apprehend the suspect.
The unfortunate thing is that some people are reading meanings into it. Like I would always say, crime is crime. There is no tribe or coloration to crime. So we should not look at it from that perspective. We should look at the perspective that somebody had committed murder.
The father of the victim still cannot believe his daughter is gone.
My daughter was with me inside the house discussing one or two things. He said I wanted to go and see one of his friends at the custom road. I said, okay, that's the case, no problem. So now I went.
Everyone agrees that the crime committed should not be allowed to get swept under the carpet. But what should be strongly frowned at are reprisal attacks on those who, by no fault of theirs, are connected to the suspect only through tribe.
Elsewhere, the Delta State government says it's embarking on a cleanup that will see all cult members renounce their activities in the state. This pronouncement was made at Ethiop East local government area of Delta State during an event that brought together students from the 25 local government areas.
One of the most essential problems facing secondary and tertiary institutions in Nigeria today is the problem of cultism. As we have today, the menace and the aggressiveness of cult members and cult-related violent clashes and activities on most of these institutions have led to killings and maiming.
Cultism destroys your life. Cultism is next to terrorism. True. Cultism cuts short your education. Cultism makes your parents cry.
Bringing together about 650 students from 13 secondary schools in the area, law enforcement agents, community elders and others, the state government hopes to educate youth on the dangers of engaging in cultism or cult activities.
Your senior brother or your teacher about what happened. Don't be shy to report.
This growing trend, the Delta State government says, must come to an end.
The state government is working with the police through a law that has been passed to deal with those who are found to be members of different cults.
Some of the students react on their experience from the summit.
So with what I've learned today, I can boldly stand and tell my friends, those people that have the zeal of becoming a cultist before, tell them about the dangerous things about cultism, the effect, the consequences, and what it can cause to their society and themselves.
If we see anyone around us that is a cultist, we should report to the policemen for them to take over.
Events such as these will no doubt help create the needed awareness on the dangers of cultism and youth restiveness. But there is a need for government and security agencies to be alive to their duties to ensure that the activities of groups such as cultists don't lead to a breach of peace in the state.
Women in Nigeria have been charged to rise to the challenge of getting involved in politics. This was the subject matter of the Rivers State Women's Day as part of activities to mark the state's Golden Jubilee. The keynote speaker, wife of the late former president of Nigeria, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Professor Uche Azikiwe, said Nigeria will be better for it if more women are actively involved in Nigeria's politics. Our correspondent Emmanuel Erey reports.
It's a day set aside to celebrate the role women have played in national development as part of activities to mark the Rivers State Golden Jubilee. In line with the theme of the day's event, the status of women and Nigeria politics, it's also time to challenge women to stand up and be counted in national life. The wife of the governor, Justice Suzette Nyesom Wike, begins by emphasizing the place of women in developing the society.
Woman is naturally endowed with a special gift from nature to being a determinant of social development as well as an architect of and contributor to the development of the nation.
The keynote speaker and wife of the late first president of Nigeria, Professor Uche Azikiwe, believes it's a matter of national importance for more women to get into political positions.
Why can't you just allow us, give us the space? If we make any mistake, correct us.
The wife of the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, says women cannot be ignored if the nation must move forward.
Even though Nigeria has not produced a female president, the women folk continue to surmount the difficulties and challenges they face in politics.
In his remarks, the state governor makes it clear that if women want a better deal in Nigerian political space, they must be willing to go for it.
There is no one position you look for that people will not say something about you. I, who is standing here, I've been a subject of so many things. So because people will say this and that, then I better forget the position I'm looking for.
The forum also emphasized the place of the woman as a problem solver, a hard worker, and an equal partner in development. Emmanuel Erey, Channels Television News.
Many thanks, Emmanuel. And when the news at 10 returns, federal government to hold talks with striking ExxonMobil staff and the corporation in a bid to sustain oil production. That'll be on Business News. Do join us again.